Alrighty. Hello. This is going to be video 7:15. I imagine a lot of these 7 videos are going to sound like the time. What time is it? Oh, it's 7:15. But I wanted to make a video today because I had a real good conversation with my daughter earlier today. Um, we talked a little bit about uh, dating. We talked a little bit about dating and what it was like to pursue someone or be interested in someone. I've had the opportunity. I wouldn't exactly say it as an honor, but the opportunity to chase after um, uh, girls when I was younger, women when I was younger, and now guys that I'm older. And it's a bit of some similarities, but also some differences, and probably a lot of what I've experienced. Let me get my eyes 2/3 from the bottom. There we go. Proper photography etiquette. Um, but just what I've noticed so far from dating and the pursuit, I suppose. You know, when I was younger, and a lot of, unfortunately, my pursuits were tainted by the fact that I was trans. Whether I wanted to admit it or maybe I didn't know how much, being trans was affecting my perception. But, you know, um, I had a hard time. I had a good time. I had a hard time being um, communicative. I had a hard time, asking a girl out on a date and whatnot. And of course, when I was doing Yahoo Personals where I met my wife, um, it was a period of trial and error for a good year. I think I went on, um, you know, probably 30 to 40 dates, first dates, like in a year, which is kind of weird because it would be like one per weekend, right? You must think, how maybe it was over the course of 2 years. But Applebee's was always my go-to. Applebee's is a very safe first date place. There's plenty of people. There's a second entrance or exit if you need to leave quickly. Not that I ever did that. But Applebee's is like safe place to take someone for a first date, and that was usually my go-to was Applebee's. But um, as I grew older and I was more honest, um, you know, when I met my wife, I told her at our first date I was trans. I said I was transgender and that I didn't know when I was going to pursue or if I was going to pursue, but that I couldn't make any promises that I was not going to pursue transitioning. And, that's a very, I'm not going to say gutsy move, but a very honest mood. And lots of rejection, obviously. But I was looking for someone who would allow me to transition, you know, and who wasn't afraid of that. So, as it turns out, she was a closet lesbian, so she didn't mind that I was going to transition. But as it turns out, once I did transition, she didn't like it, so it didn't work out. But the good thing was I was honest from day one. But anyway, differences. And so now, I probably have only pursued 3 people since I transitioned. And to pursue a male as a female is kind of the only thing I can say is that guys tend to be very oblivious to when you're flirting with them, which is weird. I don't understand because, when when I was a guy and I would pursue a girl, it was obvious what I was doing, at least to me. Talking to them and, "Oh, so what do you do for fun and where are you from?" And which I guess could just be socialization, but, you know, "Oh, would you like to go do this? Would you like to go get a coffee?" I was definitely the initiator, and it got to the point I had gotten so used to being rejected, it didn't bother me. I just kind of took it as somewhat of a shotgun approach. They say if you throw enough spaghetti at the wall, some of it'll stick, and that was kind of my approach to dating was to be very just try a lot, and eventually you'll find someone which will stick. And it kind of worked for the girls, but this time around, it's the girl pursuing the guy, or the woman pursuing. I don't think I'm a girl. I'm a woman. I'm an old woman now, but older woman, middle-aged woman. But to pursue someone now, you know, I don't get that. No, only one guy has come up to me and tried to date me. Only one person guy has ever really expressed any interest in me, and I had no interest in them. But it was not a get to know you type deal. And so, I'm still kind of new to the game, the chase as it was. And hell, for all I know, the rules that I grew up in no longer apply. Uh, this is 2020. Things have probably changed, as far as rules and social norms and everything. But, the three guys that I have uh, shown an interest in, for lack of a better word. I hate to say woo, but that same approach doesn't seem to work. I ask about what their interests are, what they into, and I've been kind of clever and um, you know, it's like um they open up to me and talk to me, but they don't it's like they don't look at me and consider me to be a potential prospect and a romantic relationship. And maybe again, my programming might be a little outdated. My memory, my RAM, my operating system might be a little old fashioned. But and um, all the ones that I've kind of hit on are younger than I am, and maybe to them, their dating has kind of been different. But like I said, it's like they're oblivious, that I'm interested in them, and maybe just because they've written me off, they're not interested in me. I don't know, but it's comical. Again, I'll sit there and talk and kind of, I'm waiting for that. Um, hey, would you like to go get a cup of coffee? Or I'm waiting for that initiation of the next step, and it never happens. And so it's kind of like, eh. And I had a good conversation with my daughter this morning, and I kind of said to her, I said, yeah, I said, guys are really thick-headed. They're really oblivious. And she said, yeah. And so I think it was kind of neat that we both kind of agreed that. Um, I don't know where I'm gonna meet an older guy. Um, I just don't know. I don't know. I've always kind of felt like I would meet a guy, um, gaming, whether it be Dungeons and Dragons or Warhammer or something else, I don't know, or religion. I would meet someone. There was a guy who I kind of was interested in the Louisville Pagans Facebook group, and again, totally oblivious, totally oblivious. Oh, so frustrating. And again, I'm not used to it because, and maybe I'm still the person at heart. I'm still I'm the initiator, And much like I would get rejected before, I'm getting rejected now, and I don't know. So, obviously when it happens, it's going to happen. And I guess I'll freak out when it happens. Kind of like I did when one guy asked me for my phone number. It was at Dollar Tree, and I was a young black man, African American, and he asked me for my phone number, and it kind of took me by surprise when it happened. And I just was not interested in him, even though we didn't talk very long. Like maybe I shot myself in the foot, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Happen when it happens, I suppose. And Katie kind of said to me, she said, "Well, what about women?" And I said, "No, women are crazy." I don't swing that way. I don't, which is kind of weird. And Katie's counselor, her therapist, kind of asked me. She was like, "Well, I'm new to the game. Tell me, how do you feel? Are you attracted to men? Are you attracted to women? Were you attracted to women before?" You know, and I just said to her, I just kind of went with it, and I guess that's kind of what I'm going to roll with it. But I'm not attracted to women in any way, shape, or form now. I've kind of felt like I've been there, I've done that. I want to try something else, and that doesn't mean one day I might fall back to it. But uh, I don't know. I don't know. I When I was about 10 years ago, I really, oops, part of dating girls and whatnot. I kind of noticed that girls who kind of played video games and D&D, there's kind of a subset of women, girls. I keep calling girls, but girls who play Dungeons and Dragons, they can kind of be kind of annoying and narcissistic. And I've only, you know, maybe I've met three in my life. They're very cool people. Don't get me wrong, but um, they're kind of high maintenance too. I don't know. Does that describe me? Am I high maintenance? I don't know. They say you critique in other people the things you don't like about yourself, but that's not how I want to be. And oh, I forgot flying. That's the other thing. Maybe I'll meet a guy flying, someone who likes to fly planes or helicopters or something. And I've always kind of felt like that's how I'm going to meet somebody. And we just never know when it's going to happen. Like this afternoon, again, I flirted with a guy, and no interest. No interest. It just makes me wonder. Maybe like I said, I'm cut from a different cloth. It's I have my stepfather to blame. He kind of said, if you're interested in something, chase it, go after it, don't wait. He kind of had that go for it type attitude, and it kind of rubbed off on me. You know, but and the people that I kind of game with, uh, or play Warhammer with, I mentioned it before. You know, will they ever see me as someone to date or be with? When you're treated as one of the guys in a gaming group, will they ever see you as anything other than one of the guys? Will they ever see you as a potential love interest or a potential? You know what I mean? It's like I'm not really. I mean, I would love to be pursued. I think that's every trans woman's dream once they transition or before they transition. They have this idea that they're going to be chased. They're going to be wooed. Someone's going to pursue them the way that they maybe pursued someone else or they wanted to be pursued. And I don't know where I was going with that. My thought just went. Um, but you know, oh, that's where I was going. But now it's more of a it's more of a social relationship. Someone to drink a cup of coffee with or visit with during your day, not so much something sexual or attraction. And I made a video about that before. It's not like that. And obviously everyone's going to be different depending on where you are on the gender spectrum and the sexual spectrum and what you're attracted to. And, I can honestly say I don't, not really attracted to anything. Um, but, I like that idea of, you know, more of a roommate than a love interest. But obviously I'm not in that position right now, not until Katie, my daughter, launches out on her own. Um, and I'm in no rush for that to happen either. So I'm kind of content to be single. But then there are moments, like I said, somebody I'm thinking of today I flirted with, and I just wanted to like pool noodle and say, I'm flirting with you, you nimnuts. But if you have to do that, it probably was not meant to be, right? But I thought about him, and I was like, I wonder what what does he see when he looks at me? Does he see, oh, Robin's just another gamer? But could he see me as a potential get up in the morning and have a cup of coffee with, and how was your day at night, and good night, those type of things. I don't know. When I lived in Atlanta, I kind of thought about that I would probably end up. Um, I wanted to run a like a homeless shelter for trans youths or trans folk, and that would kind of be my family, my extended family. Taking care of, providing a place, a shelter, and a place for them to grow up and everything. And I don't think that's the way I'm going to end up, but like I said at the time, I thought was kind of cool, to have different trans men and trans women in apartments and just kind of visit and say, "How are you? How are you doing?" You know, and wish them well. You I don't know. My future is going to be, I think, again, I'm going to end up on a farm. I want to farm. Uh, I'm going to farm up in Wisconsin. Be a farmer, and I want to donate food that I don't eat, produce and whatnot, to food banks, and then have some sort of program for children to farm, to learn how to farm, grow their own food, and perhaps cook it and eat it. You know, uh, not to go to a box and open up a box or microwave a package to eat, but actually grow your own food and eat it. I think that would be kind of neat. But anyway, all right. Well, I've kind of gone on too long, but I just wanted to kind of touch base and just kind of get that idea out, lament a little bit, and I hope all is well with you. So this is going to be me signing off, video 715, and hope all is groovy with you. I am about to start a couple weeks of mandatory overtime at work, so today's kind of my last hooray day. And I'm kind of sad it's almost over. But till next time, good luck to you. Bye.